Oh yeah, it's your boy Live Wire, and I'm back in the motherfucking building, baby. Uh, what's up, people? How y'all feeling? Y'all ready for this Sony press conference? I know I am. Can't wait to see it. But before we get into the hardware, let's talk about software. And there's a little game coming out next week called Recore that I'm rather excited about. And the cool thing about this game is, well, I already pre-ordered it. I knew it was going to be good because Xbox hasn't made shitty games pretty much this whole gen. I mean, yeah, people may, not think they're 9s out of 10s or 10 out of 10s, but they don't make 4 out of 10s or 5 out of 10s. They usually make pretty quality games. So I was really looking forward to Recore, and I had some questions about it, about what exactly we would be doing. I've heard the conversation, but it's one thing to hear it and another thing to see it. And I was just looking at this gameplay by who was this on? Gameplay Only. And I was like, oh, holy shit. This looks exactly like what I wanted. Now, Recore is not going to be, I would say, a graphical showcase type game. It's not Uncharted. It's not Gears of War. It's not going to be a Halo or anything like that. It's more so a gameplay focused type of game. It still looks good. Don't get me wrong. It still looks good as a game, but it's not like going to be the best looking game that comes out this holiday season. It's just not. But that's not really what they're aiming for. Like, if you know what, let me just put this on screen. Hold up. I'll put this up and we'll look at it and see exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Share that bitch. No, hide that. Stop talking. Okay. All right. So now, let me fast forward to some actual gameplay. Now, platforming stuff, that's dope. Very similar to, like Tomb Raider and Uncharted in that aspect. You got to climb on a lot of shit. You got to figure out ways to get through different, puzzles, some easy, some a little bit more challenging. But the thing that really had me, let me see if I can find it. It's like an aspect. Like, I knew you were going to use your partners or your bots to kind of help you find stuff. But it's like the more and more they talk about it, the more in depth that you find that it's not just a simple like press this and they'll do that, do one thing. It's a lot of customization. There's a lot of upgrades, for your characters. There's switching of the cores, which I thought was very impressive. I didn't know that you could change the core, or so like right now the dog has the blue core, right? I didn't know that you could just take that out and be like, you know what? I don't want him being blue. I don't want him there because, like, from what I'm hearing, the personality lies in the orb. So in this case, the dog is Max, right? But Max isn't the bot. Max is the orb. You get me? So when you move Max from the orb to another body, he retains his personality, but just in a different body. That's dope as fuck. That's some next level shit, man. That's really hot. And that's the type of shit that I like to see more of, more gameplay centric games. Now, obviously, look, the game looks good, and I don't have problems with games looking graphically, insane. But my issue is that a lot of times devs nowadays, they seem like they only aim for that. They aim for that first, and everything else is secondary. It's like, all right, we're gonna make this generic game, but then we're gonna, but we're gonna just make sure that we have the graphics are the main thing. And that's why I was very happy with Gears of War. That's why I'm very happy with Recore. Because I remember when everybody was like, oh, Gears of War, it looks like shit. It looks like fun, but it looks like shit. And then what did they do? They went and put the glossy paint on top of it. But they showed you that Coalition focused on the gameplay elements first and then went back and painted it up and made it look pretty and threw all those textures in. Because that's not, graphics will get you to pick up the game, but it ain't going to get you to stay on the game. It just is what it is, man. Like, as pretty as Uncharted is, and I've spoken to a lot of people, I'm like, well, what's the best thing about Uncharted? And nobody can really say. You know what they do say about Uncharted? They be like, its attention to detail and its graphics. They don't really comment on the gameplay. They don't say, you know what, has this great gameplay element. No, they don't. They don't, because that's not what Uncharted is really known for. Its AI is very simplistic. There's not much thought process to it. I mean, you might have a challenging puzzle here and there, and maybe that's what people, remember, one particular challenging puzzle. But, for the most part, when people think Uncharted, they think graphics, a graphical showcase. That's what it is. Not really gameplay. I mean, that's why the people shit on the multiplayer, which is very funny to me, because for the simple fact that, people try to defend Uncharted's multiplayer, at the same time they also say it doesn't matter, and I'm having a hard time getting through this shit. But it's like, case in point, I remember Halo Master Chief Collection when that came out. They had they had the online snafu. They had the big online issue, right? Everybody talked about how the game was broken because the online didn't work, and then you had Uncharted that came out with a similar collection, but it had no oh, you finally got through. They had no online, period. And the biggest argument that I heard was, well, everybody likes Halo's. Like, you have people that love Halo's story, and you have people that love Halo's multiplayer, and you have people that love both, right? And the argument was always, well, Uncharted's not known for its multiplayer. All right. And okay, that's all well and good. But when people say Uncharted's multiplayer isn't shit, then people try to defend it like, no, people are always online playing it. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that nobody cares about it, but at the same time, people are always playing it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, well, nobody cares about it, but people are always playing it. Like, no, it's either people aren't playing it. I don't care if like 1,000 people are playing it. If only 1,000 people are playing it, people really aren't playing it. Yeah, you have those people that, for whatever reason, maybe they don't, some people don't buy a lot of games. So Uncharted might be the one game that they bought for PlayStation. You got people that do that. They bought a PS4, Uncharted came with it, and that's what they have. And you go over the house and be like, man, what games you got? I got Uncharted. Well, what else you got? None, just Uncharted. You don't have any other games? You don't play any other games? Nah, well, I mean, I just use it for the Blu-ray player, which a lot of people say. But it is what it is. But back to Recore, man. Like, this game, I can't wait to play this shit. Now, I never played Metroid Prime because I didn't have I think, was that on the Wii? The Wii and the I think it was a GameCube or whatever. Like, I didn't really have Nintendo consoles. That was my brother's shit. Like, I haven't really rocked out with Nintendo since Nintendo 64. And I really wasn't even playing games on that shit like that. I think I played just GoldenEye, a little bit of Donkey Kong Country, and Mario 64. Like, I really wasn't messing with that console like that. But looking at this game, I just like that You know what it reminds me of? I mean, well, it's an RPG. It's a puzzle platform action RPG. That's basically what it is. Form action RPG. I mean, you got shooting mechanics, yes. Um, you have, I mean, and the shooting mechanics aren't typical to, you know, I guess the average shooter. You're not running around getting multiple guns like that. I don't like. You do have upgrades to your weapon over time, but you're basically just upgrading that particular weapon. I don't think you're just picking up random weapons. But I do like the fact that they were talking about you have to build your bots. So it's not like you just grab a bot from somewhere and you just have them. Like you have to create your own bot. To me, that's dope because then you have the ability to create your bot. You get the core for your, so your bot has a core. I don't know how they, like max is given to you, but I don't know how like you accumulate the other ones. Like how do you turn them over and create, make them your particular bots? But the fact that you can customize it the way he looks, based on the core, the way his powers are, because each core has their own different power set. So you can still have the dog robot, but not be maxing it, be whatever the other, whatever other color you put in there, yellow, red, or white, aside from the blue. And therefore he will act differently than the other cores, and that's pretty cool. And it's all based on like, all right, in this case, he's blue, so therefore he's able to attack these blue creatures. But if he was trying to attack red creatures, then his powers would be less effective against them. Dope shit. I mess with that. I like the fact that when you get the meter down, when you're doing the combo, so you shoot, and the more attacks you get, the higher the combo you get. And then once your combo reaches 10, then you get a instant extract. That's dope shit. Like right there, he has an instant extract. So if he wanted to, he could just click in the right thumbstick and then instantly pull out the bot's core, and then he'll have it for use to upgrade his dog or his bot cores in the future. See right there, instant extract. So that's dope shit. Otherwise, you could just fight with it in order to try to pull the core out too. Or you could just destroy it and then collect the parts and upgrade that way, as far as crafting and other things. And I noticed that Joel, she also gets some incremental upgrades to her, armor and whatnot. Because if you see, like, she has this mechanical arm type thing, but initially she doesn't. Like from what I was looking in previous pictures, she only had that guard on the right arm and then just basically like a little band on the left one. So I don't know if he upgraded the arm and then went into battle. I'm not sure, but she is slightly upgraded from what I see. I don't know. I might be mistaken, but from the pictures I saw, she didn't have that bionic, apparatus on her left arm in those pictures. But yeah, so they're showing basically, your inventory, crafting, quests that you have and shit like that. That was dope shit. Oh yeah, as you upgrade, based on, just like most games, like what you're doing, like, the enemies you're destroying, you upgrade your character as you go along. And based on what bot that you have, that determines, how they upgrade. So if you're not using Mac a lot, obviously he's not going to be upgrading. But if you are, he will. Oh, they also said that you're able to have 2 bots with you at all times. As far as I know, there's 4 in total. I mean, there might be more, but I'm thinking it's just 4. At least those are the only 4 that I heard of. You have Mac, you have what's that? The spider bot. I forget what the other guys' names are, but it's just Mac the dog. You got the spider bot. You got the big gorilla-like bot, and then you have like this flying bot with 2 arms. And man, I'm just really anticipating like the customization, man, customization aspect. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm actually trying to work on try to create my own model of her. That's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. It's a challenge in itself, but I'm up for it. I am up for it. But yeah, man, I'm just really looking forward to this game. Now that's the other thing that's hot about this. Like he has like each character, each bot that you have their own special abilities. So like the dog, he's able to do like a perimeter search and basically see if there's something hidden in the area, which is cool shit. And then the bruiser, he's able to break through things that otherwise you can't get into. And the spider bot is able to climb on stuff. And I'm not really sure what the other one does because they haven't really shown him. And they're all keys. Like she's only female, and all the bots have given male names. But yeah, this game looks dope, man. It's nice to see another female protagonist. I mean, if all goes well, she might be the next Lara Croft, man. I know a lot of people are pulling for her. I would hope that female gamers support it. I hope. I mean, if they know, you'd be surprised, man. A lot of times people are like, well, people don't buy games or whatever. Well, guess what? 40% of people that play games are female gamers, and a lot of them, guess what? They play the same shit us guys play. So if guys are only playing NBA 2K, Madden, and whatever the fuck, guess what? They're probably playing the same shit. Gamers are gamers. I don't know. Like, I think people think that female gamers somehow, when they think of female gaming, they think, oh, well, if she's a girl and she plays games, well, she's only playing Telltale games and, like JRPGs. And no. Yeah, some do, but most of them play the shit we play. Do you not notice it's a different day and age, people? When you go to see superhero movies, do you not notice that there's a lot of women that are there? Some people, I think, have lost their goddamn mind thinking that like girls don't actually enjoy the same shit we do. I'm married, right? I don't have to force my wife to go to see like a superhero movie. She wants to see the shit too. And guess what? I don't have to complain about not having to see sappy shit in the movie theater because guess what? She don't want to see that shit there either. She'll rather we have this agreement where, yeah, I'll watch some of the movies that you want to watch, but if it's not action-packed or something like that, we could just watch that at home. Now, I say the one thing that she does like, she's like Riddick. She's a huge Riddick fan. So, and I'm like, I'm like, all right, Riddick is okay to me. Like, I don't not like him. I'm just like, it's all right. But for her, it's a big deal. So, when it comes to, but it's an action movie, so therefore I make that compromise and be like, all right, we can go see it in a movie. Otherwise, I might not see it. Shit, I haven't seen the last James Bond. Or the last two of them, I can't remember. But I haven't seen it because I'm not a huge James Bond fan, but I'm a big Mission Impossible fan. I've seen all them bitches. Shit, I still haven't seen James Bond. What's that new one? The Bourne movie. I haven't seen that one either. I'm slipping. But anyway, man, back to Recore. This shit is dope. I would say if you are a fan of games, man, then you probably should pick this up. Let's be honest. If you like Tomb Raider, you'll probably like this. If you like Ori and the Blind Forest, you will probably like this. If you like if you like Mass Effect, you are more than likely you'll probably like this. Because it has that RPG element, that crafting element, the upgrades ability, Now, if you don't like those type of games where you have to craft and upgrade and things of that nature, then all right, this might not be for you. Like, to me, this is the closest to Final Fantasy I'll ever get, because I don't really. My brother is a Final Fantasy fan. I played the demo. I didn't like the shit at all. I thought the shit was. I just didn't like it, man. But I never liked Final Fantasy. It just doesn't appeal to me. It never appealed to me. Like, I looked at it and I said, man, this looks amazing, but I don't give a shit about it and I don't want to play it. And that's just me. And then other people were like, man, you're crazy. Final Fantasy is amazing. Well, I guess so, but I just don't like it. That's like, I mean, I don't like hockey either. But guess what? That doesn't mean people should stop playing hockey. It just means that I'm not a fan of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with people not being fan of things or people being fan of things, as long as everybody is just able to have their own opinion about things. I know in this day and age, like, people feel like if your opinion isn't with the populace, then you're an asshole and you're crazy. All right. I mean, guess what? It's okay. It's okay to disagree. But trust me, for $40, I don't see how you can go wrong with this game. Man, this dog is getting his ass whooped because that shit is turning on him. You need to back up. If that shit was blue, he'd be all right, but that shit is like gone crystallized or something. Yo, and this is the other thing. Is she gonna get this shit? I think she's gonna get it. Yep. All right, so now that's like the ultra orb that they collect, and they have like multiple versions of it and bigger versions of it, because he's like a semi-boss or something like that. He's not even a high-level boss. He's just like a lower tier boss. Maybe not the lowest, but he's low. And you got to collect these things, and these are like keys to the world. So the more of them you have, I think they do it based on number. So it's like your door will tell you how many of those things you need in order to unlock it. And the way that they have the world set up is like a lot of stuff when you first walk through the world isn't accessible because your level isn't high enough. Like, you don't have the high enough orb in order to get through it. The other thing that's pretty cool is this, like, if you really want to go deep into the understanding of this game, like, they have like a language that you could try to learn that the pets, your bot pets, like, speak, which is pretty dope. And I just find it how interesting how like in detail they were with as far as like doing some of those things. Now, if you got the collector's edition, I forget what it's like, some decoder that they have for the language. So when your animal reads it, they'll have a decoder that'll cipher what the animal is saying. Now, I'm pretty sure by the time Recore comes out, maybe probably around week, I don't know, 4, or maybe earlier, people will have deciphered most of the codes, especially the ones that have the decoders. They'll probably decipher them and just be like, all right, this is what Mac says at this point when you see this language, this sentence, and this is what the other guy said at this point, or this is what this door reads, because the language isn't just the bots, it's also in the world. So there's certain things in the world that are being said that you're not really understanding because you don't know the language. So once you learn the language, therefore, hopefully they have multiple ways of learning it, and it's just not through the decoder, because that's kind of effed up if it's only like you only can decipher it if you have that decoder. That kind of sucks. But if they give you another means of deciphering it, maybe it's a little bit like, see right there, they just showed like the dog said something, but we couldn't decipher what it was. Let me see. Let me see if I can go back. I might went too far. Did you say it already? Let me see. I think this is gonna happen right now. What did you say? There you go. All right, so you got it down here. Dog said, I don't know what the fuck he said, but he says some shit. It looks like some kind of sentence structure, like, because I think the decoder goes by letter. So each symbol it represents a letter. So something in something and whatever. I don't know. It's like I guess it's like playing Wheel of Fortune and shit. You know, they're like Wheel of Symbols, trying to figure this shit out. But yeah, it looks good, man. It looks really good. I can't wait to play it. It's only a week away, and the crazy thing is, all right. So I have Recore, I have Forza, and I have Gears. I haven't pre-ordered Dead Rising yet, um, just because I just haven't pre-ordered it yet. But I have those three games already pre-ordered, and I didn't get the Ultimate Edition of Gears, and the reason being, well, I never get the Ultimate Edition of Forza because I don't feel I played the game enough to even get that, get the full, benefit of that. But with and I don't really play that much multiplayer for Gears outside of Horde mode. So for me, I don't know if I would need the Ultimate Edition, you know. And then the other thing is, even though with the early access through the Ultimate Edition, I don't think I'm going to be playing it at that time because I still might be, trying to play through Recore a couple of times. At the same time, I'll probably be starting on Forza because Forza starts September 27th, something like that. So yeah, I got a lot of games to play, man. But to me, Forza is more like it's one of those games you can play while doing other things, like listening to podcasts and other things of that nature. So that's why I really like to play Forza. Like I was doing it yesterday. I was listening to the Console Corner and I was playing Forza because it's really hard to play games like The Witcher and shit like that when you're trying to listen to a podcast because then you miss out on key things. I'm like, what the fuck? What did the guy say? Shit. Now I can't go back because it's not like you could just rewind the conversation. You have to restart the quest, and I'll be like, man, I ain't beat for that shit. So I just usually just play like a Forza game or maybe like Madden or NBA or something like that. Something I don't really have to listen to what's going on in order to be able to play the game. But yeah, Recore. If you like it, get it, man, and spread the word, man. This game looks amazing. My prediction for reviews, I don't know, man. Look, they gave Uncharted a 10 out of 10, and that shit has no gameplay that's really like memorable, but it has action scenes. So I don't think Recore is going to be that type of game. I don't think it's going to be like this big shit blows up every 5 seconds type game. I think it's more of like, it's more thinking and strategy and how you're refining your characters. It's more on the lines of, to me, it's like a more enjoyable version of PlayStation's what's that game that those motherfuckers love? Bloodborne. Like well, it's not, but Bloodborne's more of a dungeon crawler. Like you don't have to do that. You don't have to farm. See, that's why I don't like Bloodborne. And it's not that it's a bad game. It's just that I don't like farming. Like some people love farming, and to them, that's the best shit in the world. But to me, I don't. I don't like that aspect of having to farm and farm and farm and farm just to get past shit. Like I like the option of to do it if it's an option, but if it's like I'm gonna get my ass kicked unless I do it, I can't. That's just boring to me. But the dude was like, he said it's like 15 hours to just go straight through, straight story, no real upgrading anything. That's just beginning to end, 15 hours. That is dope shit. To be honest, that is probably the longest exclusive game we've had since, as far as like a campaign, since probably Bloodborne. Right? I'm sure it wasn't that long. The Order damn for sure wasn't that long. Quantum Break wasn't that long. That was like 5 hours, 6 hours. Yeah, and the thing about this game is like, because in Quantum Break everything was optional. I really liked the game and I liked the story, but everything was optional. So if you wanted to, Outside of the regular powers, if you didn't want to upgrade, therefore you didn't have to, and you could just kind of skip it. And if you're good enough, you could kind of get by. And I think a lot of people played the game like it was a shooter. Like I was looking at gameplay for a lot of people, they were just literally shooting people. I'm like, what the fuck, yo? Why aren't you using the goddamn powers? You know, that's like I don't know. That to me, that's like Batman having all that cool gadgets and shit, but all he's doing is punching motherfuckers. Like, I mean, that's all well and good. We know you strong and shit, but yo, Batman, you making this shit way harder than it needs to be. Like, use your shit, bruh. Use your shit. But I don't know. Some people just played that game wrong. I think that's one of the reasons why reviewers gave it bad scores. But then, you know, reviewers give a lot of games bad scores that they play wrong. Like fucking Aliens Isolation. They tried to play that shit like it was a first-person shooter and got upset because it's a survival horror. It's not. It. They even told you it was a survival horror, but they try. I don't fucking know, man. I could rant all day about motherfuckers giving games low scores because they played the shit wrong. Like, shit is ridiculous. I mean, I get it if the game was broken, you know, it had issues to it. No Aliens fan that I spoke to, that game at the minimum should have got probably an 8. Like, atmosphere was on point. The fear factor was on point. The story was on point. Maybe the ending was a little shaky because it wasn't like, you know, it was kind of like left up in the air. But everything else, that shit was on point. Like, but they shitted on the game like it was whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? But like after we had that god awful game, Colonial Marines. Oh my god, that game was so trash. I knew it was trash. My friend begged me to buy it so we could play it together. Everything about that game was trash. The campaign was trash. The multiplayer was trash. It had elements that, like, I could see where it could have been better and they could have fixed it. It wasn't there, and it was too broken to fix. It was just like they were trying to fix that bitch with duct tape, and you can't do it. The shit is broke, you know. And then we get a game like 2 years later. It was 2-3 years later. What, Aliens Isolation, and the shit was a masterpiece, and people act like it was whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? So y'all motherfuckers sit there and y'all praise Outlast all the time, but then when it comes to Alien Isolation, which is also a survival horror, but when it comes to Alien Isolation, y'all complain because, well, the fucking alien's too hard. Like, motherfucker, he's an alien. You're supposed to be hiding. Like, have you not watched the first fucking? Oh, the shit makes me mad. Shit makes me mad. Like, motherfuckers went into the Alien Isolation like it was the James Cameron movie. Like they were supposed to have a gun and just blowing aliens away. That's not that fucking game. It's an action. It was a survival thriller. That's what it is. It is Aliens 1. It plays homage to Aliens 1. They even have a fucking scene in it that you relive from Aliens 1. But yet these motherfuckers complained about it like it was supposed to be James Cameron's. It's a headache, man. It's a fucking headache. Goddamn reviewers. They're idiots. They're all goddamn idiots. They don't even play games. I don't even know why they have this fucking job. How did they even get this job? I don't know. But anyway, Recore, I'm hoping it gets a high score, but who fucking knows? Because these motherfuckers don't play games. They play goddamn names. You know? Like, the fucking Order was shit. It was a shitty game. A shitty game. It wasn't good. It was shit. And they gave that motherfucker like a 6 or some shit because of graphics. The game was shit, but they gave it a 6 because of graphics. That makes no sense to me. It's not a fucking game. It's just a graphical showpiece. Like, it might have. I don't get it. I don't get it. There's no gameplay there. It's just like, to me, Rise had way more gameplay. Like my issue with Rise was the weapons, like the lack of ability to switch weapons. Literally, Rise would have been a lot better if you just were able to pick up other weapons other than the traditional ones that you have. Just simply that. I don't need powers. I don't need none of the time shit. Just the fact that I could pick up other enemy weapons, that game would have been better. But even with that being said, the game was still great because today, if you play Rod, that shit is a challenge. It is not a fucking easy game. It has a multiplayer. It has a survival mode. There is shit to do in the game. The fucking Order was a 5-hour playthrough, and the bitch got a 6. And they gave damn near the same score to Rise. It's fucking disgraceful. Like, it's just, to me, that favoritism is just ridiculous. Like, you ignore the multiplayer. Oh, well, we're going to ignore that. You ignore the survival mode. Oh, we're going to ignore that. You ignore the fact that the game is challenging. You point out only the issues that it has. Well, the enemies look the same. Well, guess what? They also look the same on fucking Uncharted. But nobody seems to mention that outside of gamers. Gamers notice that the enemies look the same, just like they did in Rise. But the critics don't. But yet the critics notice it with Rise. See, it's like they pick and choose what they want to criticize. And that's fucking annoying as a gamer. Because when you go to a gaming site, you're looking for, real critiques on the game, not nitpicking because this person made this game versus that person. Like, it, to me, is a very feminine mentality. Like, I remember having this conversation with this girl about Kobe. And I was like, yeah, Kobe's dope. I like Kobe as a player. Girl told me, I don't like Kobe because he's an asshole. I don't give a fuck about his personality. He's a great player. He plays basketball. He's the best player on the floor. Therefore, he's a great player. Well, I don't like him because he's an asshole. You're not fucking him. Why the fuck do you care? Are you, like, I don't understand this, like this idea that you have to like a person or like the company that either the product is that they're selling is good or it's bad. Whether or not you like the personality, I don't think that shit really matters. Like, I would never say, oh, I don't like this Sony game because I don't like that guy's attitude, and it's just off-putting and fuck him. Like, no, what the fuck kind of shit is that? If the game is good, I'm gonna play it. I don't give a shit. People didn't like, what's his name? Cliffy B. But they like Gears. They didn't run around and say, well, fuck Gears because we don't like Cliffy B. He's an arrogant prick. Nobody gives a shit. If the game is good, we don't give a fuck. I don't have to listen to you. I don't have to watch you. I'll just play the game, and that's it. I think people just get wrapped up in this emotional shit of like, I gotta like you, and you gotta like me. And I don't, like, yo, what are they offering? Is what they're offering what you want to have? If you don't, then pass. If you do, then rock out. Like, it ain't that hard. Like, back to my quick Kobe conversation. So we used to sit there and argue, but like, all right, well, I'm like, Kobe's is the best player on the floor, and then she'd be like, well, I like Vince Carter better, and I'm like, I think Vince Carter is amazing. He's an amazing athlete. He could dunk and all that crazy shit. But guess what? When it comes to crunch time, Kobe's the guy. Like, Kobe will get you 40 and win the game. Vince might get you 40 and lose the game. I just got to go with Kobe. He's just a better player. He's more ruthless. He makes better decisions. As much as people used to get on Kobe about taking shots and jacking up shots, Kobe would get his shot off. Vince wouldn't even get to that point. He wind up turning the ball over. He'll fucking take a terrible shot. It's one thing to take a tough contested shot, and there's another thing to take a shot that's like, well, why the fuck would you do? Why the fuck would you shoot that? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. But that's the type of shit you know. But she was like, no, but I like him better because he's nice, and I like his personality. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You're not fucking him. Like, why does this matter? You know? And I hear the same thing from dudes. They say the same thing. Oh no, but Vince is cool. I think he seems like a cooler person. I'm like, you ain't hanging out with him. He ain't your fucking boy. I'm just talking about his ability to play. Like the shit is crazy, man. And the same thing goes on in gaming, man. Same thing. You know. Cats want to talk about fucking uh Uncharted being this masterpiece, and they act like it's like this better thing than Tomb Raider when Tomb Raider has better gameplay. Hands down, Tomb Raider has better gameplay than Uncharted. Uncharted is graphically better than Tomb Raider, but Tomb Raider has a lot better gameplay than Uncharted. Uncharted, there's no customization. It's just an action game. It's literally the simplest form of an action game, going from point A to point B, and that's it. It's no different than Gears in that aspect. The biggest difference between Gears and Uncharted is just the gameplay elements in between. Uncharted is a strict shooter. The strategy of yeah, there's a little strategy in killing, but it's just I don't know. It's just Uncharted is just so plain. Like if Uncharted wasn't graphically impressive, nobody would give a fuck about it because the gameplay elements are just not there to be desired, man. It's very just run of the mill, you know. And to be honest, I don't think Uncharted really got better with that. I just think that people hyped it up. People hyped it up. They're like, oh, Uncharted, and they hyped it up based on graphics. Because when people talk about Uncharted, they talk about how amazing it looks. They don't talk about how fun the game is, like how great this part was. I was climbing this rock, and I was climbing it, and then I swung and I climbed to this other rock. Like nobody talks about that shit when Uncharted. They talk about action sequences. Oh, you remember this sequence when this thing happened there? Remember that sequence when that happened there? But then after the game is over, it's kind of forgotten. You remember those big action sequences, but you don't really remember in between when you were actually playing the game. You don't. You know, you don't remember like this big conquest where you had to get over. You might remember a part where it's frustrating and cheesy. I'll be like, man, remember this bullshit ass part that we had to do? Shit is bullshit. And even that shit is forgotten. But it's just not. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very funny, man. It's just like it's funny how people hyped up Uncharted, and it was never that. And the way it just, I don't know, man. They just hyped it up like to the point. It's just like, well, what do you do? Like, the multiplayer isn't there. It's not good, man. It's not good. I mean, but PlayStation is not known for multiplayer. They're known for cinematic experiences. So that's when I think PlayStation, that's what I think. A cinematic experience. They're trying to basically get people to play an interactive movie. That's what their games do, Whereas Nintendo has always been about gameplay, and Microsoft has become more and more about gameplay. Like their key games, obviously, they're Forza's, Gears, and Halos, and those have always been about gameplay. But they've only had a few of them, and now they're getting more and more of them, and it's an exciting time, man. It's an exciting time. We have Recore is the first to drop, and then Scalebound is next. And to be honest, I feel that we're going to have more of the same. It's going to be more of the same type of great gameplay that's coming out for Scalebound. It might probably look a little bit shinier than Recore, but I got high hopes for it. From now on, I think we're gonna get a lot of games that have more deep customization from Microsoft. And Halo's been doing it for a while. But they really juiced it up with Halo 5, especially the multiplayer. That shit is impressive. Like that's serious. It's seriously impressive. Like this Halo 5 is multiplayer wise is some dope shit. Story wise, it's like it depends on some people like it, some people don't. It's debatable. Depends on what you want. But as far as multiplayer, it's impressive, man. I mean, it caters to everybody. You could be casual, it got something there for you. You could be hardcore, it has something there for you. Like Halo is serious. Like it's really, it's that game. It's that game of this generation thus far. To me, it's that game that's really like it's the game for everybody. That's what Halo is. You know, I think the probably the biggest the what's the best game of this generation? I mean, that's always debatable. A lot of people say The Witcher, and I like The Witcher a lot, but to me, The Witcher is man, that motherfucker is time consuming. That shit is so goddamn time consuming. That's the reason why I was hesitant in buying it at first. It took me a damn near year to beat the game because I play it for like 2 solid weeks, and then I just put it down. I just wouldn't play it for like a while. Something else would come out. Batman came out, something else came out. And I just want to play it. And then I pick it up, and now I was like, oh shit, you know what? I might as well beat it. And I beat it. And I was in it for a little bit, and then Blood and Wine came out, and I started playing it. And then I was like, and then Quantum Break came out, and I stopped playing it. And then now I'm at where I'm at with it. I look at it, and I be like, shit, I should play it, but I just don't. I'll get back into it eventually. I mean, I know I signed a lifetime contract when I bought the game, so it is what it is. Probably by the time I might not even beat it. I might just have my son beat it. Who knows? Just it is what it is. Hey man, it's your boy Livewire. Get Recore. It's a dope game. I mean, if you want it, get it, man. Get it. It doesn't look like it's gonna disappoint, man. It's $40. It's a double A, possibly triple A. It's like a double A skin with a triple A content. Man, it looks amazing, man. I just can't wait for it. But yeah, this game is dope. It's dope shit. Dope shit. All right, y'all. It's your boy. And I'm gonna be out this motherfucker, baby. Out this motherfucker, baby.